Welcome to Cryptic Corner. Good evening, and I'm glad you are all able to make it in safely tonight. This is going to be a inaugural show for a new adventure that we're going on. For those new to the channel, Cryptic Corner, we like to take a skeptical view of some of the more out there claims in the YouTube sphere and beyond. We will venture into the depths of TikTok or even some of the woo forums, wherever these wild claims are being made. So, thank you so much for joining in today. And this channel that I'm going to be talking about today, I'm not talking about the whole channel. We're just going to talk about one topic on the channel. One topic that kind of started it all for me when I decided that there's enough content to do a woo-bunking channel or debunking channel, pre-bunking, because I'd love it if people were seeing my stuff, explaining the nonsense here before they actually see the nonsense, because it's actually able to inoculate against these things before they're presented than it is to try to pull someone back once they're already roped in. If you don't know from the thumbnail, there is a channel that's been around for almost 15 years now, called CrypticCorner. They do like the quintessential woo. They are much like the Gaia Network in that everything that they put out is absolutely nonsense. But I wanted to talk about this channel for just a bit, and then we're going to dive into some of their content. Okay, so if you're not familiar, where you go, there you are. This is CrypticCorner. All right. CrypticCorner has 1.29 million subscribers. They have an ongoing radio broadcast. They've got a lot of videos going back to like 2010-ish, I think it is, 2009 maybe. They go way back. They've been doing this for a long time. And they used to pop up, people debunking them in my feed all the time. And when I was absorbing this type of content, right, I would get, 11 years ago there, I would get notifications of people talking about it, like famous YouTubers talking about spirit science and watching their silly videos. But it's been a long time since I've seen anybody really doing that, and I've never got to do that. So I was hoping you guys wouldn't mind if I explored their crystal series with you today. I don't know if we're gonna get through the whole series. It's a 3-part series, but it's the videos are only about 10 minutes long each, so we can see how far we get. I did go out to Rational Wiki to get some information regarding some of the different topics, and look that just to get an idea of the wild ideas that they're pushing. Let me go through this list real quick. Okay, they got topics on alchemy, aspartame, astrology, Baxter effect, chakras, channeling, chemtrails, crystals, conspiracy theories, DNA activation, Edgar Casey, energy woo, evolution. They put woo right in the name there. That's funny. Extraterrestrials, fluoride, free energy giants, GMOs, history, homeopathy, Hollow Earth, Jesus, Jews, Martians, Jews between Jesus and Martians, of course. Medicine, Occam's razor, palmistry, pineal glands, psychedelic drugs, Reiki, sacred geometry, the moon, Thoth, time travel, vibrations, and water. Yeah, just water. Just H2O. Just to two hydrogen molecules and an oxygen. Yeah, there you go. Spirit quest. But yeah, that's so. And you can go out here and look. I like Rational Wiki. It's not really kept up as much as it should be, though. There's not like it's all. The information's all about 5 to 10 years outdated for the most part, and there's no like new people or anything mentioned. It's all people who were prominent in the early 2000s. There's no mention of anybody, any content creators or, well, I shouldn't say any of any of the major ones though. That you would expect to be on here. Anyway, and I'm talking on both sides, creationist and apologist, and the atheist and evolutionist. You thought you saw a putty tat? Yeah. All right. So who is ready to watch some crystals here? Hold on. Let me switch this out to the full screen. That'll look better, I think. Just a moment. There we are. That looks much better. Okay. Let's do this, team. Let's swarm.
Crystals. What are they? No, seriously. Look at all these amazing structures and forms. They're beautiful, they're powerful, and they're life. Crystals are the essence of life.
Crystals are yeah, I agree with everything up until the life part. Crystals are not life.
Manifesting within the earth, the blossoms of the mineralogical portion of the earth. Recognition of these energies and forms of crystals can greatly benefit your personal growth. It is a very basic consciousness, not as intricate or advanced as some life on Earth.
I wonder if this whole thing is going to be because crystals grow, they're alive, right? If that's the case.
Crystals definitely don't have the thinking capacity of humans, or even the biological reproductive systems of plants, but they are life. And today I'm going to show you how this works.
But they are life, he just asserts it. And again, this is Spirit Science 13, Part 1, Crystals. There's 3 parts to this crystals section. And for what it's worth, for all the crazy nonsense that they put out, I do like the art style over here. That's what kept me... that's literally what keeps you going through these. If you're like a skeptic, the narrative, it reminds me, or the art style reminds me of that show Primal, where the caveman and the dinosaur that like team up and fight monsters and stuff. Yeah, the art style reminds me of that.
Crystals are defined as being a mineralogical body with a characteristic internal structure and enclosed by a symmetry of plane faces. They are, however, much more than that. We've discussed before that everything in the universe is a vibration, existing.
So, before we move forward, we have to decide that if we agree that everything is a vibration. I think that an argument could be made that if light is a wave or a wavelength, then yeah, the way that we perceive the world around us would be through vibrations, because we'd see vibrations in the. If that's the claim that the light is, I don't know if that holds up, or if that could be said to be fact, because we got, photons are not a wave. Photons are photons.
Through many different frequencies at once. Our physical bodies are on this physical plane, but the sounds that we hear vibrate to a different frequency.
But I think a claim is going to be made here about that because crystals can vibrate to a frequency really good. They're really good at it. That's true. Absolutely. And like Tsunami's saying out there, they can be used in batteries. They can be used to help with electronic devices and sound devices and things like that. But they are not alive. They're not actually producing their own frequencies. They're carrying frequencies of the environment around them. They're just really good at picking it up.
As with smells and even thoughts, crystals also vibrate to many frequencies at once. Health is the natural state of any form in the universe. Considering the vibrational existence of reality, health comes when the frequencies of anything are in balance and harmony with itself. When patterns of energy are disrupted, we experience a state which...
I like how it looks like there's fart gas clouds around the disrupted person. This one gets like a super like egg thing on them. Perfect balance of every hue. It's all. How do you know it's perfectly balanced? Because it says so. I'd expect perfectly balanced hues if they're supposed to be a perceivable light, to be in like a rainbow order. That's how I would expect it to be balanced. I wouldn't expect to have yellow next to purple. That's not balanced to me. That's not balanced to my eyes. I know it's just a visual aid, but still. Flowing lines without distortion shows that the energy is balanced. Clear, vivid colors have positive energy. A range of rainbow colors reflect good health. God dang it. I was sure this was going to be something made by an American, and then nope. Not an American. Look how that colors. Then when you're gassy, when you're not flowing, then your muddy, dull colors reflect negative energy. And it looks like Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. An abundance of blue and green suggests depleted energy. Bulges in patterns show energy distortion. Lack of solar colors, orange and yellow and red. Lack of solar colors is, yeah, okay.
Which we know as disease, which is a body that's not at ease. The resistant, discordant energy patterning is responsible for every negative symptom we experience, everything from headache to cancer. Crystals and gemstones have a vibration that is free of resistant patterns. They are among some of the structures in the physical dimension which have the most balanced, cohesive, strong, and intentional frequencies. Their unchanging physical structure is a reflection of their innate energetic pattern of balance and strength, which are incorruptible. In the physical world, you pick up a crystal and feel it as something separate from you that you're just holding. But on higher frequencies, you're actually interacting with that stone energetically. This interaction then causes changes to your structure and psychology through your own energetic systems. It begins a process of rebalancing the energetic structure of your body, and in a sense, can help you heal. Now, consciousness is of course the determining factor of if you are going to be accepting of these new frequencies coming into your being through crystals. I'm not going to say crystals will heal you.
Yeah, sorry, I had a coughing fit and had to mute myself. The last bit, yeah, I was just talking about crystals that you can change the frequency of a crystal just by reshaping it, right? By changing which directions the facets point and all that stuff. You can restructure a crystal to vibrate on a different frequency. Yeah, thank you guys. I know I was muted. Of course I was. I have to do that at least once a show, right, kids? That's how it works. Thank you. I love you guys. Sorry, it's the like 30 seconds or so delay on the me getting your messages from when I'm putting stuff out. So there's every time I forget to unmute, there's at least going to be 30 seconds of me just moving my mouth and talking to you guys when you can't even hear me. All right.
Because if you fight them and are non-receptive to these frequencies, you will continue to create the disharmony within yourself. Ultimately though, crystals can be used to retune your whole being back to a state of harmony and flow. Crystals have been used and revered since the dawning of civilization. In fact, the Christian Bible refers to crystals over 200 times. Precious stones were used in the foundation of New Jerusalem. They were also used in the breastplates of Aaron, the Hebrew high priest. Crystals have been discovered in the ruins of Babylonia and in ancient tombs of Egyptian and Chinese rulers. This wouldn't be spirit science without some sacred geometry though. Remember the 5 platonic solids? Science understands that
five platonic solids. If it comes out not a solid, you call your doctor and tell them about it. But yeah, this is just sacred geometry, which was kind of the jumping off point for this channel.
All atomic patterns and molecular structures were based on these 5 forms. They create the forms that the universe manifests through. Well,
that the universe manifests through, and then we got like a mandala.
Here's the atomic structure of a beryl crystal. It's the flower of life, the creation pattern flowing through the structure of this crystal. Now, not all crystals...
That's just a mandala, right? Like just a bunch of circles. Am I wrong?
Crystals are like that molecularly, but they are very geometric. There are 6 categories of crystals. Of course, there are lots and lots and lots of kinds of crystals, but no matter how many there are, they will always be in one of these categories. Isometric, tetragonal, hexagonal.
Let's see here. So, yeah, here's more of our sacred geometry. about the different crystalline patterns found in nature. That crystalline patterns exist. I don't know that that's necessarily a proof of like them having magic vibrating powers, but we'll see.
Orthorhombic, monoclinic, and triclinic. For the most part, all of these systems are derived from the hexahedron, also known as the cube. One of the biggest things about crystals is that they can transmit frequencies. From a metaphysical perspective, we can transmit thoughts and emotions through crystals, but scientifically, does that make sense? Would you believe it if I said that pretty much all of modern computing technology was based on the living element of crystals? Consider the radio. The first radio was a crystal set. They would cut a piece of quartz crystal and touch a wire to it. The frequencies transmitted through the crystal.
The quartz!
That's right. The molecular arrangement, of course, is very stable and has a measurable frequency. And because of this, it can be used in basic technology.
Right, because it carries a vibration of the sounds and in the frequencies of the information it's receiving, and it can carry it through. It can actually amplify it. That's why they used it. Still used in some high-end microphones. You can still get high-end microphones with real quartz in them. One of the musicians that I used to run around with in the early 2000s used to really brag about his fancy microphone with the real quartz in it. But I didn't hear any difference, but I humored him. But yeah, it was a nice microphone though. It had all like the controls on the. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent there.
Nobel Prize winner Marcel Vogel discovered that crystals can be reprogrammed as silicon chips in a computer, and can also be programmed with the energy of consciousness. He discovered that when a person uses a computer, thoughts are transmitted into the computer by pressing on a keyboard.
Thoughts are. I just gotta hear that again. Where are we at? 416. So let's go back.
Can also be programmed with the energy of consciousness. He discovered that when a person uses a computer, thoughts are transmitted into the computer by pressing on a keyboard.
Who discovered that? Wait a minute. No, this is where this guy?
Be reprogrammed as silicon chips in a computer, and can also be programmed with the energy of consciousness.
No, okay. There was the leap. Did you hear it right there? Discovered that silicon chips could be used in the computer and to transfer consciousness into it. What? No. What?
He discovered that when a person uses a computer, thoughts are transmitted into the computer by pressing on a keyboard. That information.
Thoughts are transferred. Okay. I guess I don't disagree with that. Thoughts are transferred into a computer by using a keyboard. Yes, I can type. Okay, I'm with you there, Spirit Science. I can type my thoughts. Chat confirm. I can type my thoughts. And they show up on a computer screen, on the monitor that's hooked into my computer. I am inputting my thoughts into the computer by crystals. Okay, we're here.
Information is stored in silicon chips via the medium of electricity. Thought is a form of energy which can be given direction through what we call intention. He concluded, due to this discovery, that crystals could also be programmed without the need for electricity, by using just thoughts as the informational...
Okay, so yeah, and exactly what Ring said. If thoughts can be transferred, if typing on a keyboard is transferring thoughts through crystals, is writing it down with a pen on paper, is it transferring thoughts with ink through through tree pulp medium? Hey, Mark.
Energy. Another interesting find is that quartz is composed of silicon and oxygen, a combination known to geologists as the building block of all minerals. The living element within crystals.
The living element within crystals, guys. Here it comes.
Is silicon. Science found in the 50s.
Crystals are silicon-based life, apparently. Who knew? I guess like the alien from the Alien series, the xenomorphs. They are crystals.
That silicon shows the same principles of life as carbon. Exactly 1 octave down on the periodic table from carbon is silicon.
1 octave down on the periodic table is silicon from carbon. Yeah, that's the argument that when you hear like I like speculative evolution, where people talk about how life could have evolved on different planets and what elements that could be used and what that would have meant for their development. I enjoy that. So, and they use this formula that, because silicon is 14 and carbon is 6, then silicon should be a viable replacement for the cornerstone of living organisms. But so far that hasn't panned out anywhere, right? It's not. Yeah, quartz is not in any way the building block of minerals. That's bullcrap. Yeah.
Sponges deep in the ocean made from 100% silicon were also discovered, which shows that silicon life doesn't just work in theory, but they actually exist right here on this planet.
That's the same as us incorporating like iron into our body, because you eat a bowl of Cheerios and it has iron in it. And we did it in school. You can take Cheerios and put them on a paper plate and you gotta have a decent magnet, but you can actually pull the iron out of the Cheerios and have a little pile of iron on your paper plate at the end of it with the magnet. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, there's organisms that use silicon in their biology. We use it in ours too. There's parts of our body that incorporate this as well. We use other minerals much more. I think most terrestrial life does. This kind of structure is more basal.
But get this, the Earth's crust itself is made out of silicon. It's 25% silicon, but silicon bonds with just about everything.
I'm doubting that, but I will leave that to Brian Stevens out there to debunk. I trust Brian when it comes to this stuff.
So the Earth's crust is actually rough.
That doesn't surprise me though, because like sand is silicon, right? Beaches, there is silicon in a lot of the crustal rocks and stuff. I get that, and the crustal minerals contain silicon.
Roughly 80% silicon compound. We're literally floating out in the middle of space on a giant crystal ball. The term Mother Earth never had so much meaning as now, as we learn.
How does that even tie into Mother Earth? Because, well, he's going to say here, but I don't know. Crystal ball's a bit. That's a bit of a stretch.
That the entire planet itself is a conscious, living being. She's aware of you and everything going on.
That's silicon dioxide. So that's silicon that takes the. It's been so long since I haven't had chemistry since. Oof. So silicon dioxide, help me porpoise. It's removing the oxygen molecule from the compound, right? Just leaving the silicon. Okay, yeah.
Her body. The energies within crystals are universal. Therefore, when you connect with a mineral and are open to receiving what it has to offer, and begin to play creatively through your higher self, you can contact and synthesize the energies from which the entire universe is comprised. This is why crystals are so powerful, and why they must only be used to the highest consciousness of the individual. Right intention during the use of crystals further serves to connect your personal energy with that of the crystal kingdom, helping you get to a place of love, of light, and the good of all. Although each...
What about the kingdom of the crystal skulls, though? Huh? What about that? Did you ever think about that? No? Probably. Well, actually, he probably has a video on crystal skulls at this point. I would not be surprised. But I don't know. There's this idea that you have to accept with spirit science, right? For the first thing you have to accept when you're watching this, before you can even jump into the game, right, is that he's going to present that there is an unmeasured frequency or wavelength or something of energy that cannot be detected through our scientific means, but is present and able to be detected through ancient woo, like third eyes and chakras and aura reading and all this stuff, and you can manipulate it with magic crystals and things like that. So you got to jump off with that point, because if you come in here arguing that but this energy doesn't exist, or there's no proof that this energy you're talking about exists, you're losing the point. You can't. It's like it's like if you wanted to talk to, again, about like a young Earth creationist about evolution. They keep going back to abiogenesis with spirit science. You can't just take it back to the origins of this energy. You got to accept that that the basis of everything. That's at the base, and all this is built on the notion that that is true and factual.
Every one of us has an infinite power of the universe within the self. We as humans always like having that support from something external from us. Every crystal form has its own individual energy and its own personality. Each can be used in unique ways to assist one in understanding the nature of existence, or moving forward on our own life path.
And that is true about the crystals. Like I was saying, every crystal, well, I shouldn't say that. That's overselling it, because you can shape two crystals the same and they will vibrate at the same frequencies and stuff. But yeah, in general, natural crystals are all going to have their own unique frequencies and stuff, depending on their growth and their composition and all that good stuff.
Destiny, as we're consciously experiencing it. I feel that right now, as people are waking up, we're becoming more and more aware of our ancient knowledge and wisdom. Part of that information that is returning to us is the nature of crystals. I see crystals as being...
People are waking up, and you got to remember these videos came out like right on the right before the 2012 stuff. This is before their 2012 prediction videos, which they do have. They did go down that route. So
very monumental in the evolution of humankind.
And you could see the Mayan calendar there in the background, right? When he was talking a second ago. Mm-hmm.
Provide a lot of love, light, and insight for many who are struggling with their own inner demons in this coming time. Things are getting more and more intense, but it's also providing people with the opportunities that they need to raise their own vibrations and frequencies to a level of light and happiness. Healing has to come from within. I'm not going to say that if you just get crystals, you'll be happier or smarter or heal better. However, think of it like being with a close friend who really cares about you. They will provide their...
No friends? Try rocks!
...energy and attention to you to help you find yourself in this time of need. Crystals are like that. They will give you support if you allow them to, and open up your heart to the frequencies that they are emitting.
I don't need friends. I have my rocks. They vibrate on my frequency, so y'all can just...
So where can you get crystals? Well, there are several options. The easiest is probably just to find a local metaphysical store. There are usually at least one or two, if not more, metaphysical shops in every city. You can find tons of pocket stones, usually ranging from 50 cents to $2 or $3. Of course, the bigger and bigger crystals you get, the more expensive they become. If you're hunting for bigger gems to purify the frequencies in your house, it's always fun and cheaper to go gem mining. Some gem mines actually allow you to go in with it.
So, gem mining is fun. Sure. I live in the Mississippi Valley, so we have tumbled geodes all up and down the bluffs here on either side of the river. So you can go get everybody and their grandma has a massive geode garden with all kinds of beautiful geodes sparkling in the sun. It's a very common thing here. So you can do that. You can go pretty much to the base of any cliff or bluff and along the Mississippi, or out down. You can go down to the Ozarks, and it's even more prevalent. And any crack open any round rock you find, and it's almost certainly a geode. That's something you can do, and it's something I do approve of. So long as you're not being destructive while you're out there. But just remember that no matter how many geodes you find, how big your rock garden gets, geodes are not a good supplement for actual human interaction. You need to have people in your life too, at least to some extent. Yes, Sandy, you too.
Pickaxe and mine your own crystals, and other have sand and water mining as well. This is a really fun experience, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's exploring crystals. Also, I feel it's important to note that if you have crystals and you want to learn what they are, simply do a Google search for crystal properties. There are tons of sites on the web.
Where are we at? Handmade jewels by Robin with meaning and spirit. So we just trust Robin that she knows that rock lore for amethyst. Crushed amethyst was used by the ancient... Well, I guess if she's talking about historicity of it, but to ward off intoxication. The word amethyst comes from the Greek word amethystis, meaning not drunken or intoxicated. The Greek legend of how amethyst got its purple color. So this is just talking about folklore, though. I thought you were going to say that she's claiming that it has magic properties. what she's just talking about. Unless you're saying that because the Greek mythology around, because the way this appeared in Greek mythology with Dionysus and Artemis, these Greek gods. I mean, are you assuming that the Greek gods are real too? Is that the claim? Yeah. But I mean, it's just folklore, like folk medicine, that, hey, you can put amethyst in your drink to keep somebody from poisoning you and things like that. It's just silly, debunked early. It's almost like early early attempts at like pharmacology, right? So I mean, I can't shame them for having this lore. There's still some pharmacology that hangs around in folk medicine and stuff that some of them actually work and some of them don't. So yeah, gotta investigate them on a case by case. I don't think that there's any crystals that are gonna help avoid intoxication, though. I just don't think that exists in nature.
Which provide information on the particular frequencies or personalities of crystals. Crystals and gemstones are one of the most powerful tools available for us.
Ooh, that's a pretty one, though. I want one of those.
In the physical dimension right now. And like all tools, the key to maximum utilization is to learn how to consciously implement the tool. If we consciously recognize that our own electromagnetic fields are impacted by the energetic quality of each crystal and gemstone.
Is your electromagnetic field impacted by crystals and gemstones? Let me know in the comment section below.
We would see that they create an alchemical response within our own bodies and psyche.
Alchemy. Oh, here we go. Alchemy. An alchemical response. So, alchemy is not a thing. It's just early science and chemistry and pharmacology, all mixed together, all mushed together into a myriad of early medical research. The people that were doing this kind of stuff were usually under the thumb of a ruler, right? And were set to experiment with different substances and try to see what kind of chemical reactions, medical results that they could get from different elements in nature. That's what alchemy was all about. It is the precursor to a lot of science and medicine, and so don't knock it, but we don't use it anymore. We don't use it anymore as the basis for our medicine, for our chemistry. We took the bits of alchemy out. We've picked them out. Took them out. We said, hey, this part's right. Good job, ancient alchemist. Good job, ancient alchemist. We're very proud of you, right? Picked it out. And now we have medicine here and we have chemistry there. Awesome. Good job. The rest of it is nonsense. Let's throw it away. Dionysus isn't real. Artemis is not a thing. I'm sorry to my pagan friends out there too. If you are a what do you call yourself when you do the Greeks? I guess I don't want to say Greco pagans. If there are any Greco pagans out there, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I guess that they do exist to some extent, but all the pagans that I've went around with, especially the Hellenistic pagans, that's the term I was looking for. All the Hellenistic pagans that I have met in my life didn't actually believe that the gods were real physical beings that lived on Olympus and engaged their thought forms. So that's the way that was always presented to me.
Psychology, which would allow us to use them as the powerful tools that they are. We could use them on a daily basis to promote health, awareness, growth, and evolution within ourselves.
Rose quartz, aquamarine, azure. Ooh, I like azure. Azurite. Look at that. That's some pretty stuff. I do like crystals.
And the multidimensional lives we lead.
There goes buffering again. I think it's because I keep stopping and going. It makes it buffer.
Well, we're going to go into that next week. To wrap this video up, let's conclude with something really awesome. The 13 Mayan crystal skulls. What are they?
Oh, here we go.
What do they do? I'm going to share what Drunvalo Melchizedek has shared, but there's a lot of information available out there. Perhaps we can go into a full story another time. In a nutshell, 13,000 years ago during the fall of...
I knew that there was crystal skulls in this. I knew it. I just talked about crystal skulls recently, but I knew that they'd come up here too at some point.
Atlantis, the Maya took their calendar and left Atlantis. During this time, they carved a large crystal skull out of quartz crystal and held a ceremony.
Okay, so thank you, Porpoise. So the people who were Greek pagans that I knew weren't even Greek. They were using Roman terminology. That's so funny. There's a it is a derogatory term that people use, but they call them trailer pagans, where they just make up shit about religion and call themselves witches or pagans, and just grab bag whatever they want the culture. Yeah.
Person who was trained and prepared would consciously drop their body and enter into the skull, where they would reside within for the next 13,000 years. Then, every 1,000 years, another ceremony like this would take place. The ceremony involved a being who had an understanding of everything humankind knew at that point, and then entering into the crystal and saving these memories within the skull. Kind of like the Mayans would hit file and save as every 1,000 years to preserve what they knew.
What? File and... Oh. So, you put your memories into a crystal skull is the claim. I don't think there's... we went over the crystal skulls in depth, and we went over their history and where they came from and what they are and what they mean and all that good stuff a few videos ago. They are not ancient in any way. They are not Mayan. Most of the ones we have today were machined in the 20th century.
Supposedly this year in 2012, they will hold a final ceremony with all of the crystal skulls coming together to reveal all of this ancient knowledge to the world and allowing it to enter our consciousness once more.
In 2012, guys, just in this coming year. Oh wait, that's 11 years ago. All right, there's that. So that was their part one on the crystals. I don't know if you guys found it compelling or not. I did not. Let's hear what they say about their crystal section here. It is repeatedly claimed that crystals are alive, possess magical properties, and can heal people, even though Jordan himself admits that they lack reproductive capabilities or human sapience. They are nonetheless alive and have willpower. Crystals can get tired of their owners and jump out of their pocket whenever they want. Another problem comes with the issue of healing properties. It does not work unless the person believes it will, thereby making crystals a mere placebo effect. Placebo cannot cure anything, relieving some symptoms instead. Anyway, crystals supposedly heal people by increasing their frequency of their aura. As these forms of energy are undetectable by technology, the claim is neither falsifiable or scientific. And I think that about sums it up, right? That about sums up what we have to say about our good friends over at Spirit Science. This has been Cryptic Corner. Thank you so much for joining in on the conversation. And if you have any thoughts or opinions about this, leave them in the comments section below. If you're watching this on Cryptic Corner on Friday night, you have a good night, and we will see you live from the Hive tomorrow morning. If you are, then please remember to be kind and take care.